You're listening to the Zone Coverage Football Show, where opinions, passion, and pride are always on the line. Live from Tees Towers, here's your host, Mark Tees.
Hello, and welcome along to the good old Zone Coverage Football Show. It is Sunday, the 16th of November, 2014, week 11 of the season already. I'm quite heartbroken, in fairness, that it is week 11 of the season because we are past the midway point now. So the real tough, nitty-gritty games start now, and the contenders and the pretenders rise to the top, and the muck that is my Jets remain rooted to the bottom. So yeah, hello and welcome. If you are a new listener, I did hand out quite a few cards at Wembley last week. So if some random idiot ran up to you dressed in Jets gear last Sunday, handed you a business card, well, that was me, your host, Mark T. So if you are listening and you did get a card, send me a tweet at Zone Coverage FS. Right then, so let's do a little bit of housekeeping at the top of the show. Fingers crossed you are listening via the TuneIn app and the Spreaker app. Keep saying it every week now. The Spreaker app does have this cool little chat window in the corner where you can chat to me live as the show is going along. So if you want to do that, feel free. Just keep spreading the word. Just follow, retweet whatever comes out of this. Talking of Twitter, moves me on nicely. We're getting there, aren't we, with these segues? No, we're not, because I'm now stumbling. The Twitter handle, Zone Coverage FS, the all-important number to ring for the show if you want to come on, have a rant, say whatever you want, is 0161 818 4593, or via Skype, which is T-Smester, T-E-E-C-E Mister, T-E-E-C-E Mister. I will give those out again in the moment when we get to the hot route. If I know it's Sunday and maybe you're into your soccer, or maybe you've been dragged around the shops, Christmas is on the horizon and all that. If you can't listen back live, listen back in the form of a podcast, which is pretty much as soon as this is done and dusted, you can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, and you can even listen back to it on the Spreaker app and the TuneIn app. So it's available for you in a variety of formats. So whatever floats your boat, you'll find it. And if you can't find it, go to the website, which is www.zonecoveragefootballshow.com. All the links and stuff are on there. I've even done a page now where you can see what sort of what the features are, bit of info about me, like I say, the links and stuff. Want to leave comments and all that, feel free. And if you want to leave even longer comments than Twitter allows you, you can email me. That is zonecoveragefootballshow@mail.com, zonecoveragefootballshow@mail.com. And I do feel that is, that's it for housekeeping. On to today's show. What do we have? We have a relatively packed show. We have no Fantasy 5 at 5 news today, I'm afraid, folks. Simon, who's been jumping on the show for the past couple of months now, he's not available this week. He did send me a message earlier on, so he does pass on his apologies there. So no Fantasy 5 at 5, but that does not stop you in any way, shape or form from getting your fantasy questions answered. If you want to, you can send them over to at Dundee NFL, and they did drop a podcast on Saturday, so the Fourth Down and Out podcast, that is out available now, so I do recommend that you go check that out. I've seen a picture of Mark Sanchez on the cover of that looking quite iffy, and there's rumours that they're talking about Kim Kardashian's rear end, and the less said about that, the better. So yeah, that's your fantasy advice there at Dundee NFL. So please hit the guys up over there, Russell, Martin and Simon. So and check out their pod. It's a good pod. Not just saying that, it just generally is a good pod. So right then, that is that. We got no fancy advice, but you can still get in touch with the guys there. I got the hot route. Again, if you are new to the show, that sort of question of the day. So I'll be setting that in a minute. Spoiler alert, I want to know who's on the hot seat. So if you want to sort of have a little think about that and then ring in. I'll give you the number again in a moment. We'll get to that. So that is the hot route. We have NFL news, round up what's been going on over the course of the last 7 days. A Week in Words was like a feature that I rolled out last week, and I feel I must apologise for last week. We dropped the show on a Saturday afternoon. Numbers were a little down, as to be expected, because I was at the Wembley game, as mentioned a few moments ago. So the Week in Words, I found some like quotes and stuff and what players and coaches have been saying about the variety of situations that have gone on over last weekend and stuff. So I'm going to run through those. We also have, Oh, very nearly dropped an F-bomb then. We're going to have the not-so-great 8, and the not-so-great 8 is pretty much like power rankings, but in a weird kind of stupid way that pretty much sums me up. So, yeah, the not-so-great 8 is watching the games who I feel is like the worst team in that division. It may or may not reflect the actual standings at the moment, but I sort of judge it on what I've seen over the last few weeks. So if your team has been absolutely rubbish, they will probably find them at the bottom of the not-so-great 8. So that'll be coming up later. Also, the fan versus fan returns. Hallelujah, which saves you from my rambling nonsense. Fan versus fan returns this week. We have a Falcons fan in the form of Alex and a Panthers fan called Andy. So that will be coming up round about 4:30. I have now compiled a list. I've even put in people on standby. So if you want to be on the fan versus fan, just hit me up, Zone Coverage FS, and we will jot you down what team you support, and we will get to that as we roll through the season. We are going to have a look at the fixtures, what's on the TV, what channel, and so on and so on. If we've got time, we will look at the standings and of the playoff picture we could do. I've got a few shout-outs to do, and also Tom from Huddle Magazine, he's going to be on around about 5:15, 5:20ish, with your latest news as we are sort of building up into towards kickoff. So 90 minutes of madness. I've actually just had a notification on the Spreaker, so I'm going to see what this says here. Scott Larkin says, hello, is this the chatty thing? Scott, yes it is. So I should just reply, yes it is. So yeah, Scott is on the chatty thing. So yeah, so it actually works. I am gobsmacked that works. So yeah, on the Spreaker app you can live chat with me as we go. So Scott, I appreciate that, buddy. What I will do is I will check in on Twitter briefly before launching the hot route. So again, and we are live via TuneIn and stuff. If you want to tweet in at me, Zone Coverage FS, or my regulars, Will Davis, not only a hat rack, he says normal service is resumed Sunday. He loves this slot here to 4 till 9:30. Wow, that'd be some show. 4 till 5:30. So Will Davis, absolute legend. Give him a follow. Not only a hat rack, a regular listener, and the kind words are always appreciated, as are those by Scott Larkin, who's not only been in the chat room on the Spreaker app, he's also tweeting at me as well. So says he might give us a bell, so that'd be cool, Scott. So if you want to do that, feel free, buddy. The number again before we set the hot route, 01618184593. I actually do have a random message as well. That's a message from Simon. I told him not to worry about missing the show today, and he does say, cheers Mark, appreciate it, go Browns. So that is that up to date. Let's get to the hot route, and for the hot route, let's hear from Herm Edwards. Let's set the tone with a little bit of a rant.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out.
So, as mentioned, Herm Edwards having a rant. So, the question of the day, the hot route, so to say, is... you don't have to stick to this, by the way. If there's something else bothering you, or something you've seen, something you've heard, something you want to discuss, if you just want to call up, have a chat, ask me how my day's been, feel free. I don't mind. I can, as you've probably gathered by now, 16 episodes in, I can pretty much talk nonsense about anything. So yeah, I'm free to do that if you want to do that. So the question of the day: who's on the hot seat? Who do you feel now? What are we 11 weeks into the season? Teams are playing below what we all thought they might have been doing at the beginning of the season. We can look at my very own miserable Jets. There's banners being flown around practice, which is absolutely hilarious. And I mentioned last week that I tip my hat to the guys that are flying planes around with banners. Very creative and fun. It's not hurting anyone. I like that sort of stuff. It's good. So yeah, we've got the Rex Ryan, John Idzik sort of thing. Falcons as well. Mike Smith, the GM there. The Falcons wanted to be tougher, harder, and all that sort of thing. They were preaching in Hard Knocks. No, that's not really happened, in fairness. Yeah, I know injuries have not helped them along that line and stuff, but they've been struggling as well. The Giants, what's going on with the Giants? Tom Coughlin, is it finally time? There's going to be no crazy Super Bowl run for the Giants there. Lovie Smith with the Bucks. This, I don't know, it's kind of rare, isn't it? A coach after one season getting the push, but is Lovie Smith under pressure there? What about in Cincinnati? Lewis has been there for ages. What's the crack in Cincinnati? Is it going to the playoffs and watching the Red Sanchez, Andy Dalton just fail miserably? Is that becoming tedious, boring? Have you had enough of that? There's a variety of coordinators that are not pulling their weight as well. So who do you feel is on the hot seat? And is there anyone maybe on the hot seat that you think's unjust, that it's just nonsense, it's too early, maybe injuries and stuff? Is it just media hype that are just sort of creating all this? So that is today's hot route. So if you want to ring the show, 0161 818 4593. That is 01618 4593. Hit me up on Skype as well. That's T-Mister, T-E-E-C-E Mister. So that again, today's hot route. You don't have to stick to that. And just anything that you want to talk about, feel free to do so. I'm going to check in on Spreaker now because the chat room on Spreaker's going crazy. Right then. Yes, Scott's replied to my reply earlier, so he says hooray that works. John McDonald, welcome John. John posts like crazy on the Facebook page, so I always forget that. You just go to Facebook, search Zone Coverage Football Show, and John McDonald asks, does anyone know if Kyle Rudolph is? And I'm guessing that there is possibly playing, or I'm not sure. It just says is. So John, you possibly pressed the wrong button and it cut that off there. So if anyone knows anything about Kyle Rudolph, hit me up. Just let us know. Zone Coverage FS. So again, that's awesome that's working. So everyone's interacting via all the outlets. So I feel it's time that we let's delve into a little bit of NFL news. NFL news. Right then, let's start off with the sad news that I feel. Carson Palmer, season is done and dusted. He tore his ACL during Sunday's win over the Rams. A few days after signing that mega deal. That's still, yeah, I know Palmer's made his money over the course of his career, but it would have been nice to see Palmer take the Cardinals to the big dance in their own backyard. But unfortunately, his season is done, so that was announced on Monday that he's now on IR. So he was saying, I saw a few reports, Carson Palmer was, he said that he bawled his eyes out at that news. So sad news there for Carson Palmer. Wish you a quick recovery, sir, and hopefully your operation is a lot quicker than mine. I keep banging on about this, but I've been waiting now since February, which we might do a special. We'll have an Inside the ACL special. I might see if the doc will actually let me record as I go in and have my knee drilled. That might offer a bit of insight, a bit of a delve into the drilling of the knee and what that sort of involves. So that could be something we could explore if I'm really struggling. Moving forward, back to the news. 49ers defensive end Ray McDonald will not face any charges related to his domestic violence incident, that involved his fiancée. As quotes here from the Santa Clara County District Attorney Jeff Rosen said, after our thorough review of all the facts, we do not have evidence sufficient to convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. McDonald committed a crime against his fiancée. So that is sort of that put to bed. Not really sure what to say on that matter. We all know that this domestic violence and sort of just crazy behaviour has been highlighted, long overdue in my eyes. So we'll see how that sort of that's supposedly done and dusted. But yeah, we shall see with that. So Ray McDonald, there's going to be no sort of charges faced there. Right then, the NFLPA filed a grievance to get Adrian Peterson removed from the commissioner's exempt list. I believe this was around about Monday. And then he was scheduled to have some sort of meeting that he failed to turn up to. So I have no real idea what's going on with Adrian Peterson there. But I'm baffled by the whole situation. We all know, we've heard it to death, what he did was absolutely ridiculous, crazy, and that was sort of sorted out last week. So the news regarding AP sort of continues, really. So we'll I'm sure you're more informed than I am of that. So we'll see how that sort of pans out over the course of the next few weeks. That is ongoing. On to our next item on the docket here. We have Dolphins. They've placed left tackle Brandon Albert on IR, toward his ACL and MCL. The Denver Broncos' Ronnie Hillman, running back, is expected to miss 2 weeks with a foot injury. And I have like a moron of the week here. A moron of the week award goes to the Tampa Bay Bucks rookie tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins. He not only got flagged for using the ball as a prop when he stood on it, he did the Captain Morgan pose. He was penalised 15 yards. And then those 15 yards not only helped the Falcons then score a touchdown, but he then posted a picture of the incident on Twitter with the caption, "Everybody has a little captain in them. # it's a buck life." So, not the smartest move there. He then later deleted that picture. So, two dumb moves by Austin Seferian-Jenkins. I get annoyed at the fact that you can't celebrate in the end zone. I like all the creative stuff. The Terrell Owens, you remember, popcorn in the face and using the pylon as a golf club. I remember Sean Green, the plodder, using the ball as a pillar when we knocked off the Pats in a playoff game a few years back now. Yes, I am living on those past glories. I have to. It's all I've got. Otherwise, I'd be suicidal. So, yeah, that is that. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, Moron of the Week award goes your way, son. Right then, 49ers Alden Smith is back following his 9-game suspension. He trained with the team on Tuesday. The 49ers also placed linebacker Patrick Willis on IR. He's done for the year, been suffering with turf toe all season. Talking of people that are done, Seahawks have placed Brandon Mebane on IR. He's torn hamstring. Picked up that injury in the win against the Giants. The Bears have waived Santonio Holmes. And then I've just seen that Santonio Holmes works out for the Chiefs yesterday. So I've not heard anything since. So we shall see what happens there. The Dallas Cowboys have activated Josh Brent. You probably remember this. Brent was suspended for 10 games. It's a weird one this was. Yeah, he was... he's been conditionally reinstated by the NFL following his conviction on an intoxication manslaughter charge, which stemmed from an incident in 2012 that resulted in the death of teammate and friend Jerry Brown. He's been reinstated by the Cowboys there, activated there. To make room, the Cowboys waived linebacker Tim Dobbins. Right then, the Rams have benched quarterback Austin Davis, and Sean Hill will get the start against the Broncos. I don't really know if I agree with that one. I know if you're familiar with the Ross Tucker Football podcast, or Ross Tucker Football, whatever it is, he was banging drum about that Austin Davis, maybe if he was maybe a first, second round pick, he might get a little bit more time, but because he's not, he's sort of been ditched to the sideway, and Sean Hill gets the start again. So, yeah, that happens today against the Broncos. The Seahawks tight end Zach Miller, he's done for the year, will go on IR following ankle issues. They've sort of plagued them all season, in fairness. The Arizona Cardinals have extended defensive coordinator Todd Bowles' contract through to 2017. Just seeing earlier on as well, the San Diego Chargers have placed first-round cornerback Jason Verrett on IR. He's had a variety of shoulder issues these past few weeks, so he is done. The Philadelphia Eagles have worked out quarterback Terrell Pryor. That happened yesterday. I mentioned Alden Smith earlier, did I, or did I not? Yeah, I did, yeah. He's now been activated. And the Chiefs have signed defensive end Alan Bailey to a 4-year, $25 million extension. And that concludes your news for today. Let's have a look back in on this Spreaker app here. Yeah, I would like to take over the Fantasy 5. I would like to take over the Fantasy 5 at 5 and suggest play all Raiders. That is Scott Larkin in the Spreaker chat room there. Yeah, if you are a new listener, we've had some sort of legendary quotes now from Simon on the at Dundee NFL. There was one a few weeks back. The Giants were in a hot form, and it was start all Giants, and then they got shut out on the late kickoff. So that is sort of legendary status. So start all Giants, start all Raiders, and all that. Just the banter is strong here on the Zone Coverage Football Show. Again, we got 10 minutes, guys. If anyone wants to ring in, 01618184593 before we go to the fan versus fan feature. And we'll check in on Twitter briefly before we have a look at the Week in Words segment. So again, if you want to hit me up on Twitter, feel free to do so. Zone Coverage FS. And also do us a favour, any sort of names and Twitter handles that I mention, I know the majority of people seem to be following everyone, but I've noticed everyone sort of chatting and getting on and talking about the NFL in general, so I like that. I like seeing that we're connecting people as well, so feel free to do that. Here we go, Scott Larkin. Oh, yes, yeah, I was going to actually do this. This is a real good call. Scott, give a shout-out. He asked me, basically, give a shout-out of anyone playing Baffer. And there's a lot of teams that are recruiting for next season. And I do know that I do believe it was the Staffordshire Surge. I saw them that they've had a rookie training day today. I know Crew, my old team, have got one coming up. Scott, I'm not sure if I'm not seeing your Titans and if they have got one coming up. If they have, let me know. We'll get that out there. I do know there's a lot of teams recruiting, doing like a rookie sort of taster session. So if you've never been down, I know I bang on about my injury, but honestly, do not let that put you off. Being allowed to just run into another person at full pelt and full gear is one of the most exhilarating feelings in the world, and I cannot recommend it enough. I absolutely regret not getting involved in the sport at a younger age. I am, 34 now with a bum knee, so the chances of me playing again, I don't really know if that's going to happen, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for anyone else, if you want to go and play. I know I spoke to a few guys that sort of played over the course of the last few years and that. Just go down to your local team. Most teams, they do have, if you've got no equipment and stuff like that, they'll provide it on the day for you. They'll give you a nice little taster session. They'll talk you through all the heads up stuff and everything like that. The coaches are all qualified. They have to go on courses. It's absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. Just go play. You'll enjoy it. You'll learn it. You'll meet some great guys and you'll learn a lot as well. So if you get the opportunity to do that, you got a local team, go check that out. And if you are listening and you know that your team is recruiting, just hit me up on Twitter, Zone Coverage FS. I am more than happy to promote every team out there that is recruiting on a recruitment drive. So just feel free to do that. If you want more info, got a lot of stuff, you can tweet at me links or whatever. Even email me, zonecoveragefoootballshow@mail.com. Just feel free to send all that info my way, and I will help to spread the word and the recruiting progress and the rookie sessions and all that. So yeah, go do that. Go check out your local teams, and great fun. In all fairness, Gary Jordan, he's been tweeting some stuff out. I appreciate that, Gary Jordan. His Twitter handle is @GazJaw1 and also @UK First Down. So go check those out, please, as well. Will Davies says, Mark Trestman's seat is warming up, especially if they can't get close to 500. Also, is Foles at the risk of losing his job to the Sanchez? I sort of went off on a rant about Sanchez last week. Basically, before the Monday night game, I was saying that Sanchez is a tease. He will lull you in. He will have moments of brilliance, and you'll be like, okay, we're all right here. But then the week after, buyer beware, I go. I know we hate hearing this. It's a quarterback-friendly system. He's going to do ever so well. But in fairness, did the defense not turn the ball over a ridiculous amount of times? Without that Eagles defense, I don't think they would. I reckon you could chalk off 3 wins because they've been close. That defense has dug them out of a lot of holes. Will Sanchez take him to the promised land? Is he the guy forward? I'm going to say no, based on the 4 or 5 seasons that I saw. Don't get me wrong, he's not awful. He's adequate. I go with that. Like again, it will lead you on some game-winning drives, something he was very good at in New York. Just that when his confidence went, that was it. He was done and dusted and shot. So I'm going off past experience. I watched a lot of him, so it'll be a nice filler. He might work out in Philly, and as I said last week, if he does work out in Philly, then I will hold my hands up and say that I was wrong. But from what I've seen and my memories, good and bad, definitely a lot of good memories. Just the implosion down the stretch was rough. So I do wish him all the best. I'm not one of the bitter fans that sort of like want him to fall completely off the grid and stuff. But yeah, fingers crossed it works out for him, and all the best on that front. Right then, what else do we have? Let's get into this weekend words. We do have the Fan versus Fan, I do say, coming up in 5 minutes. So Andy Campbell and Alex Sawson, if you are by your Skype phones, be ready. I will be ringing in the course of the next 5 minutes. So it brings me on. I best get a coin ready. Coin ready and my stopwatch. I always fail to do that. So there we have a coin. We are away. Right then, a weekend words. Just a few quotes I seen just around the league that I thought was interesting, really. I thought I'd share them. I found this one on Richard Sherman on Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham. This is what he's had to say. Beckham is a great player. So they had to depend on him and take risks and take shots in this game like this. He was able to get one earlier, which was a great play by him. So high praise for Odell Beckham from Richard Sherman. I've got a question, actually. What's with the Giants? Did anyone see that game last week where the Giants did not want to tackle Marshawn Lynch? What is with that? How are you professional athletes not want, even if your team stinks and it's not going your way, you're not getting the calls, have some personal pride, someone. Just go out and just knock the living daylights out of him if you can. And if you can't, at least you're giving it your best. I do not like people giving up. It frustrates me. It annoys me, in fairness. I don't get it. So yeah, right then. Dolphins, Mike Wallace, this was again before the Thursday games. He was moaning about the offense, basically saying we can't keep doing this on the offense. We can't be up and down to be the team that we want to be. We have to be able to finish games. So, yeah, that was that. Mike Wallace just... When does Mike Wallace not moan? And fair, that should be the bigger question. Oh dear, something's come up. I don't need an update. Remind me later. Right then. Ravens and the legend that is Steve Smith, after his body slam on the Titans linebacker Avery Williamson. Did anyone see this last week? Basically, Steve Smith body slammed Avery Williams to the ground. And Steve, as he just has these classic quotes, doesn't he? He says, I body slammed him, so I think it's really a testament to their lack of strength and conditioning coach down in Tennessee. It's like, when I'm 5'9", 194-pound guy, slams their linebacker, body slams their linebacker, man, he needs to get his weight up. So Steve Young, not as good as his ice up son quote, but Steve Smith, fantastic there. So we mentioned Mark Trestman earlier. Mark Trestman's statement on his coaching staff. This is what he had to say. There will not be any coaching changes at this time. I think we have excellent coaches here. Right then. That's not what basically all I see from Bears fans is utter disgust, in fairness. There's not a lot of unhappy Bears fans out there. So this was the next interesting back and forth that I've seen. Cam Newton does not look like Cam Newton. And head coach Ron Rivera. Yeah, I can't speak. Anyway, Riverboat Ron was asked about Cam Newton. And he said, right then. Well, he didn't say right then. This is what he said. I'm not sure where all that came from. He's not injured. I think he's playing at the best condition he's going to play in. This is week 11, week 12. We haven't had the bye yet. He's about as healthy as he's going to be. And that's pretty much true for anyone who plays this game. Fast forward then to Wednesday. Cam Newton said, hurt is hurt. If you're asking me, am I hurt right now? Yeah, I'm hurt. I haven't felt 100% in a long time. But is that my excuse why we're on a losing streak? No, absolutely not. So you asked me a question, is Cam Newton hurt? Yeah, I'm hurt. And that's all honesty. But I can play. Yes, I can play. And I will be playing. So, bit of confusion there in Carolina. Not helped by his absolutely crappy O-line. In fairness, but mixed statements there, mixed messages. So is there sort of a rift? And there, Cam Newton, Rocket Ron, not Rocket Ron on Twitter. I'm getting mad. Anyway, Ron Rivera, Cam Newton, something's a mess there. We have 49ers Michael Crabtree on his diminished role in San Francisco. He says, third down. I'm a third down receiver. I'm like the third down option, so I come in and do my job. Again, these are just competitive players that are just just thingy, aren't they? They're not happy. They want to be down every single down. So, also saw an interesting quote from Cowboys Executive Vice President on not having a Super Bowl ring. He's referring to Tony Romo, and basically was quite honest, quite a refreshing statement in fairness. It goes along the lines of this. This sits on our lap, Jerry and our family's lap, in the terms of the organisation. We have to, do better at putting better people around. So he was saying that he was touching on like the crazy contracts that Jerry's given out, and that Romo's not had the tools around him, and they've not sort of addressed issues going forward to give him the best opportunity to win a Super Bowl. So I quite like that. It was nice and refreshing. Speaking of Cowboys, the last sort of week in words quote that I picked up on before the week of work, my end just turned into absolute bedlam, was regarding Des Bryant on a new contract. Des had this to say: "I love it here. I really do. But every day you grow, let's see what happens. It's all about respect. It's all about respect. I'm a very loyal person, but don't test my loyalty." So that is interesting from Des Bryant. Des and DeMarco Murray are both free agents at the end of the year. So that's going to be a very, very interesting end of season, off season sort of discussions. Can they bring them both back? I have no idea what's going to happen there in Dallas. But that is just sort of week and words. So I will check in on Twitter before I get to the fan versus fan segment. So Andy and Alex, just bear with me. I am not ignoring you, so do not panic. I will be with you in a moment. Catch up on Twitter here. Yes, Scott says, not sure when the Manchester Titans are having rookie camps, but senior, junior and women's always look for players great for game day. So Manchester Titans, their Twitter handle is at Manchester Titan, the local team. If you're in the Manchester area there, go down and do that. And Stephen Fuller, he says Mark Trestman's job is on the line, but the hot seat should belong to third-year GM Phil Emery. So yeah, I appreciate the tweet there, Stephen. Stephen's Twitter handle is at, is that false? I'll just spell it out, it'll be easier. That's at FULST_ROSTO. Scott Larkin is talking to Huddle Magazine. Tom from Huddle Magazine will be on around about 20 past 5, so around about 50 minutes times. And Matt Phillips at Matt Phillips 78 UK Draft Guide. Been talking to Matt via email over the course of this past week. We have irons in the fire for some absolutely fantastic stuff regarding the draft, college football. We're going to be bringing that to you. We're still in discussions, in fairness, but we're sort of penciling in early dates like February, March. So we are going to guide you from the basics of like your college all the way up through to the draft. Matt's got a book coming out, a college draft guide that's going to hit the shops, internet, and I think he said it was April time. So the more I get on that, I will give to you. So we do have some exciting off-season stuff, so don't worry once the Super Bowl's done. I'm not just going to vanish. We might scale it back to once a fortnight or something, but we've got some really, really good ideas coming forward, and with the help of Matt Phillips, we should be able to educate you, myself actually, and the rest of you guys. So that is the future going forward for the Zone Coverage Football Show. And I want to take this opportunity to personally thank Matt Phillips actually for getting in touch and there, and we've had some great emails exchanged, so I'll bring you up, keep you updated as that goes. Brett Lovedale, Bryant's talk is a waste of breath. Jerry Nets never lets players go when the guaranteed dollars reach the light level. He gets respect, so appreciate all the tweets, people. Keep those coming in. Zone Coverage FS. Right then, let's get to the fan versus fan segment. So I need to ring Andy Campbell. Andy Campbell, I am calling you right now. So fingers crossed that this works. Bear with me. Hello? No, we got nothing. So, hello?
Hello?
Is that Andy?
It is, yeah.
Hi Andy, welcome to the Zone Coverage Football Show.
Hiya, thanks for having me. You all right?
Yeah, I'm very well, sir. How are you today?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Well, I just wanted to thank you as well for jumping on at the last minute, for digging me out of a big hole.
It's no problem at all.
Right then, Andy, so you're going to be representing the Carolina Panthers today. I don't know what you want to talk about, just introduce yourself. Tell me how you became a Panthers fan. Are you still there? Oh, it's gone quiet.
Okay. I got into the NFL. Yep, still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
sorry.
Hello. I got into the NFL a long time ago, but the Panthers particularly was when they were in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I knew they were the underdog going into it, and I just liked the way they played. Had a bit of a never say die attitude in that game. Yeah. Lost it over the following seasons, but they really played well, and it sort of got me rooting them. Plus, I don't like the Patriots.
No, I'm with you on that one. I can back you on that one all day. Can I ask you a quick question then about Cam Newton? What have you seen over the last few weeks? Because I just read out a statement that Ron was saying that he's not injured, and then Cam sort of come out in the week and said, I am injured. Do you have any sort of take on that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of mixed reviews in the press, and I know there was a lot of speculation about if Rivera and Newton are sort of on the same page or not. I think maybe the press office have got one thing that they want to say, and maybe Newton had something else he wanted to say. I don't know if we can read into it a lot, really. Yeah.
Do you get the same sort of problem then with the Panthers sort of beat writers? Are they as creative as, say, like the New York media, where they just run with anything?
Obviously, you don't get all the same coverage in the UK that you do in the US, but I subscribe to most of the sort of newsletters, and I think like the Charlotte Observer, which is their local sort of paper, as well, they seem to come out with pretty accurate information, sort of pretty fast, and the press office seems to be open with them. And then obviously you got sort of like the fan pages like Cat Scratch Reader and stuff off SB Nation's website. Oh, right. They give a lot of really good information. So.
Oh, you're lucky then, because I'm Jets fan, so we get muck, in fairness.
Well, if you support the Jets, you probably deserve it. No offence.
I can take that. I've got no room for banter.
I'm used to getting the abuse anyway as a Panthers fan. So
I was going to say, so we're on a level playing field of misery then?
I think we are, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We found the common ground. Right then, Andy, what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect Alex to the call now, so you might get a couple of moments silence. I'll do the same with Alex, ask him how he is and introduce himself, and then I'll delve into the deeper depths of this if possible.
Okay.
So you have to now endure my messing about with technology as I try to add someone to the call, which is it never ever goes well, in fairness. So, we might have to. Alex, so fingers crossed, Alex should answer the call. He did tell me he was out and about, so we might have an iffy connection. Hello? Hello, is that Alex?
Hello.
Hello, is that Alex?
It is.
Hi, Alex. Mark from Zone Coverage Football Show. Thanks for coming on.
No problem at all.
So, Alex, Andy's already on the line. Andy, Alex.
Hi, Alex. You right?
Yeah, I think we got that. Right then, I've just spoken to Andy, Alex. If you want to just tell me why you're a Falcons fan, how you came into that.
Yeah, sure. So I got into watching the sport sort of 12 seasons ago. I decided I needed a team, and I decided whoever picked number one in the end in the next coming draft would be my team. The Falcons made a trade. They went up in the draft, and from then on, I picked that team.
See, I like that idea. That's a good idea to get into it. Just like whoever's got number one pick, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I had a feeling it might be Michael Vick at the time, and he seemed like he was going to do something in the league, and it wasn't going to be what he ended up doing.
No.
But yeah, looked good. But then from then on, been a Falcon fan through Joey Harrington and Byron Leftwich and everything else in between, and we won't mention Petrino.
Oh, right, fair enough. So what do you think then? The last couple of years has not sort of gone to plan. Do you feel like that's going to continue for the next year or two, or can you turn the corner? What do you reckon for Mike Smith? Is he gone?
I think his seat is too hot. I think too many fans want him gone.
Yeah.
Arthur Blank's not going to pull the trigger now, but I think he'll pull the trigger in the off-season. It's time to make a change. It's time to make a change.
Oh, okay, cool. Right then, guys, what I'm going to do is you're both going to get 2 minutes each. Basically, just you can spew out whatever you feel, any sort of like relatively good points. You can go start crazy. You can just basically say we're going to beat you because whatever, really. Whatever comes to mind, just feel free to do so. I forgot to set up my buzzer, so I'm going to have to be a rude host and just jump in after 2 minutes and maybe cut you off. If you don't need the 2 minutes, just say, I'm done, that's all I've got. So right then, Andy, I rang you first, so I'm going to let you pick heads or tails, sir.
We'll go heads. Right
then, here we go. It is heads, sir. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go second.
Second, right then. So
see what he's got.
See what he's got. Oh, fighting talk. Right then, Alex, are you ready, sir?
I am ready.
Let me just get up I fail at this miserably every week. Get my stopwatch going. Right, your 2 minutes starts now, sir.
Great. Well, the first point I'm just going to make is nothing about the Falcons. It's going to be everything about the Panthers quarterback situation. That guy has ribs made of paper right now. I saw a stat the other day that in something like the last 4 seasons, he's had 531 hits. That guy's running for his life, and even with a pass rush as awful as the Falcons is, I still think he's going to be dancing around back there like a girl, making the mistakes that we know that he'll make. Sham Newton always makes mistakes, and we've got the defensive backs to pick it up. The second point I'd like to make is finally, our offensive line seems to be steady. They're not the best, they're not going to light the world up, but they're doing it good. We've got an undrafted rookie, sitting there in centre. He's doing a good job. He dealt with Gerald McCoy well enough last week. Sure, the rest of the line didn't get tested too well last week, but we're sitting there healthy, I think, now. So with that, we've got the best wide receivers in the game in Roddy White and Julio Jones. They're going to be causing trouble all day. And who knows, even Steven Jackson looked like he could run more than 4 yards a carry last week. So I think we're back in. I think our offense is looking good again. And slowly but surely, our defense is just going to make Cam Newton jump around. And that's how we're going to go and win that game today. And that's all I need to say.
Brilliant. Right then, that saves me being a rude idiot that I can be at times. So I appreciate that, Alex. Right then, quick tap on the reset button. Andy, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay. Well, on principle, whether anything he just said was right or not, I'm going to disagree entirely. And I think we'll win purely because, again, we're playing the Falcons. And they're the Dirty Birds. And we're going to win. In the rivalry that we've got in the last few seasons, I think they are 5-3 against us, but they won the first 5 and we've won the last 3, so that gives us the momentum going into this. Regards the quarterbacks, I mean, Matt Ryan got sacked 9 times last time he played the Panthers, and we might not have the Kraken anymore, but and Starla Tulalay being out is going to hurt us, but we've still got a pretty monstrous front 7. Pass rush has not been its best this season. Charles Johnson's not in great shape at the moment, but I still think they can get to him. Newton, he's had a bad season, and I don't remember how many hits he just said he's taken, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's Newton made of paper. I think that's Newton is tough as coffin nails. He can take the hits, and he'll just keep coming, and I reckon we might get a run performance out of him today, and I'd hazard a guess at a touchdown from him as well. Rushing touchdown, that is. As far as the defence goes, I mean, the Falcons secondary is not brilliant, and we've drafted Kelvin Benjamin, who's just, I mean, the man's a monster. He's 6'5" and 250 pounds for a receiver. I don't think there's anyone in the secondary who's going to block him in the end zone. And on the subject of secondaries, ours has got Thomas DeCowd, who played for the Falcons for the last 6 seasons. He knows how their defence works. I'm sure he's told the Panthers coordinators what to expect and what to strategize for. Other than that, really, it's a must-win game for us. We led the division for most of the season, and we've just given that up to the Saints. And I think when the Panthers' backs are to the wall is usually when they play best. So I reckon they're going to go out there knowing they need to win this to get the division back, with a couple of easy games coming up. And we've got the home field advantage.
That takes us to 2 minutes.
That was pretty good timing. I was just about to stop.
Yeah, good timing. I think you've actually scared Alex off, because he did say he was out and about and his phone signal appears to have dropped off. So Alex is not going to be able.
Falcon support.
I like this. The banter is strong. So right then, what I'm going to do, Andy, is I'm going to send out a tweet now. So basically, round up as many people as you can and retweet the hashtag Andy or hashtag Alex. Very inventive, my end here. So what I will do is I will collate those over the next 30 minutes, and I will ring back whoever gets the most. There's no I've got no great prizes or anything like that to give away. Just personal pride.
It's good enough for us.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's that hesitation. You have to say, what? I've come on the show and I'm not even getting anything.
No, not at all.
I'm only joking. I just want to say again, I appreciate you coming on, Andy. And you never know, fingers crossed, I might talk to you in half an hour. If by any chance you do happen to lose, you've got the details for the show now. If you want to come on, talk Panthers anytime, the same goes to Alex in regards to the Falcons. Just hit up the show and just... I'm free to talk about absolutely anything you want.
Thanks very much.
Okay then, Andy. I appreciate that, mate. And I shall maybe speak to you around about 5:15.
See you later.
Cheers, Andy. Take care, mate.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
Bye.
There we go. We have our contestants for today's fan versus fan. I'm just going to tweet that out now. So... Alex, you did cut off, but you did warn me, so fair play to you, Alex. You did warn me that he's out and about in the car today doing a variety of stuff, and Skype can be a bit of a pain in the rear end, in fairness. So that is that done and dusted. So again, for the fan versus fan, if you want to vote for Alex regarding the Falcons, if you feel that he gave over the better argument, then tweet at me, Zone Coverage FS, hashtag Alex. And for Andy, the Panthers fan, if you think Andy gave the better argument there, you tweet at me, hashtag Andy. So you've got half an hour, 5:15 will be the cut-off point. And I will say this, I am not counting retweets or favourites. You've got a direct tweet at the show. So at Zone Coverage FS, and you have half an hour. So get tweeting, people, get tweeting. Let's check back in on Twitter. What's happening on Twitter? Ron, I can't say what he's doing, but yeah, Ron, I will put that down to you, sir. Ron's already voted. So right then, we have a couple of votes coming in already, so keep those votes coming in. And remember, I've sort of collated a list now. I've got the majority of fans on there, and I don't want to have to sort of keep going to the, let's say, more popular teams with the bigger sort of fan bases within the UK. I want to try and touch and connect everyone and sort of try and make this like a nice little place to come and talk friendly and stuff, and have the banter and everything there. So that is that there. Right then, so what else do we have today's show? I will just check in. Yeah, the votes are coming in, so this is good. Keep those votes coming. So yeah, I've lost my pen. Right then, so yeah, keep them tweets coming. Right, so I'm just going to check back in now. Oh yeah, you can even go to the Spreaker app and get on the chat room there. We've had a vote via the Spreaker app there, so that is good. We've got them all coming in. So yeah, appreciate that. So let's delve in. We have no Fantasy 5 at 5 today. As I did say earlier on, Simon is busy out and about. So we will dive into, let's go, the not so great 8. I don't think I did. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I made a fan versus fan noise because it was fight music on it. So I'm just going to play it anyway. It's fight music. Anyway, so as ever, well produced my end. Forgot my drop. Fantastic. And it wasn't long enough for me to have a drink. God damn it. Anyway, on to the not so great 8. If you are a new listener, welcome aboard. 16 weeks in. I'm not going to rant about where have you been, because I do that every single week, but I just seem to have inadvertently done that. So let's get into the not so great 8. What is the not so great 8? I hear you scream. And for those that listen regularly, I know you've heard it, but bear with me. It's power rankings, basically, flipped on the heads. I judge it over the course of the last few weeks, what I've seen. And if I think your team is absolutely rubbish, you will be at the bottom of the division. 8 divisions, 8 teams, not so great 8. It's pure genius, my end. So we will start off with the AFC East, just to get it out of the way. The Jets have held their spot now for the last 3 occasions that I've rolled this out. And despite that win against the Steelers, they remain bottom. The Dolphins, pains me to say this, but the Dolphins, the better team. The Bills, a better team. The Pats are the Pats. They're always bloody 12-win seasons. So the Jets, I'm afraid we might be able to turn it around in the next few weeks. So we might come off the bottom of the AFC East there, the not so great 8. So that is that. And on to the AFC North. This division, I think it's had the most changes during my rankings here. I think the only team not to grace the bottom has been the Ravens. And then last time out, the Browns replaced the Steelers. And then I put the Bengals on notice. So you can't say I didn't warn you, Bengals fans, in fairness. We got Andy Dalton, a.k.a. the Red Sanchez. That's what I'm going with. Big contract signed. He's been abysmal. Sanchez did the same. So you got warned, Bengals fans. If I'd seen any more madness, carnage, whatever, you were going to be at the bottom of the not-so-great 8. So this is it. The Cincinnati Bengals, you are the muck of that division, the muck on your shoe of that division. So this is what we've got to say to you. And I'm going to have to play that for my Jets as well, because it's only fair that they get the same amount of ridicule. So, yeah, that was probably painful. Right then. Oh, I've actually got a call here. Hang on, let me just double check this. What is going on? We have some form of madness. Bear with me 1 second, people. I seem to have a bit of an issue going on here, so just bear with me. Hang on. Hello? Hello? Is that Ashley?
That is, yep. Or it is, rather.
Yeah, your name popped up on the screen. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well. What can I do for you today?
Well, I've never been able to get through to the show, but, I have. This is the first chance I've had, actually, to call through. And
brilliant.
I just wanted to say I've been listening to the show and think it's a great idea, so...
I appreciate that.
Well done for that. I think that was definitely an area that needed to be filled, because, as you say, no one really has a chance much to actually interact, with any kind of, as far as the NFL goes in the UK, so good on you for that. A bit of a different reason for calling in, and this could be a source of contention for some people, but I think it's worth saying. I'm actually calling from Minnesota. I actually moved over to the States about 5 months ago now because my wife lives here.
Nice.
And before that, you say nice, you should be in the cold weather we have over here at the minute. It's crazy.
I'd swap the cold weather in Minnesota for the cold weather in Newcastle under Lyme, in fairness.
That's true. But no, a few things really I picked up on, and this might be strange for some people to say, but I actually miss being an NFL fan in the UK, actually, quite a lot, because obviously there's always going to be benefits of being in the US as far as when it comes to football on Sundays. You have teams that you can go and see more often, and obviously there's a lot more coverage on TV and so on. But I also used to hear a lot of, without wanting to say anything bad about fans in the UK, a lot of complaining. I think the British are known over here, including myself when I was there, of complaining about things quite a lot, or so people here say. And I understand it, because a lot of people talk about things like the TV coverage and obviously Sky being expensive. You hear this every year in the off season about how much, the cost of TV is going up by, and where the NFL events are going to be in the UK. Are they going to be close to where I live, and so on? Yeah, I just thought I'd give people an idea from my experience over here as to what makes the NFL in the UK so great, actually, and what I actually miss about some of it. First things first, with TV costs, over here, the biggest satellite company, or one of them, is DirecTV. And to be able to access any NFL games or the same kind of thing you Game Pass in England, you have to have a TV package which is at least $70 a month. So it works out probably around £45. But on top of that, the NFL channel itself, or to view all of the games on a Sunday, it works out around $200 extra over the course of the season.
Right.
So actually watching games and so on, I realize is actually costing a lot more money here than it ever did when I wanted to watch games in England, strangely enough. You'd think it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, definitely.
As far as events, one of the great things as well, and I think one of the main reasons is obviously the NFL has its fan base in America, obviously. it has no shortage of income when it comes to fans in the US, but it's still trying to, gain its hold on the UK. So it seems to be making a lot more effort to, promote the game, promote the sport over there, and the events that it holds are excellent. I went to London a couple of times when they had players over for interviews and so on, for fans to go and see. They have the, I know that they do visit different parts of the UK as well, some of the major cities with players that come along and speak about their experiences and so on. Obviously, living in Minnesota, we've got relatives that live around an hour from the border of Canada up north, and you don't see that kind of effort put out from teams over here. It's a case of if you want to go and see the Vikings or see them train, see a game, you've got a good 6 or 7 hour drive.
Wow.
Obviously ahead of you to go and do that. So that was the other thing I actually miss, is the fact that although sometimes people in the UK like to see things, happening more locally or where they are, it is the same way over here. I think the NFL are actually making more of an effort in England even than they are, over here, as far as fans being further away from the big cities. So it's things like that, but most importantly, and I've left the best till last, it's the fans. And I wanted to say this about everyone, that does watch the NFL over there. Over here, it's a bit like soccer, obviously, in England. It's kind of a given that people are going to be NFL fans, or they're going to have some level of interest. It's not anything special to be able to speak to another NFL fan over here, because a lot of people are, which is great.
Yeah.
But in England, nothing beats that feeling that you're part of what I always found to be a real friendly group of fans. Like wherever you are, if you're in London or any part of the UK, or you go to the Wembley games, there's a feeling that you're part of something special. It's an exciting time to be an NFL fan in England. Obviously, they're bringing more games over every year. You have the prospects of a new team. And like I say, all of the events that they hold over there, they are really making an effort. And you can tell the fan base is growing. It was exciting. And it's good over here for the coverage and so on. Obviously, there's always going to be clear advantages of being in the US when it comes to watching the NFL in some ways. But when it comes to cost of games, even cost of watching the games, the number of events, there are actually a number of things that I'm missing, in England, and think people should really be grateful for that over there. I think it's a good time over there to be an NFL fan. Let's put it that way.
You know what? This is probably one of the best calls I think we've had, because we've never had that sort of like perspective where a fellow UK resident's gone over to the US and then you're sort of pining for what we've got now. And yet I'm probably one of those people that have maybe moaned a little myself that things could be a little better. But hearing that sort of like, it sort of makes me sit back and just look at the bigger picture and appreciate the events that they put on and stuff. Yeah, it's good to know that.
Yeah, I certainly miss it. Like I said, obviously there's going to be advantages. There's obviously going to be some more coverage over here, but it's actually work out more expensive to actually be able to follow the NFL and the games and even go to the games over here. Yeah. And depending on where you live, longer drives than there are to events there. So, it's just a heads up to it. Obviously, everyone enjoy the rest of the season, enjoy the game, bringing over to London, because obviously I always used to go to all of the London games. And although obviously some people say it's not quite the experience that it is going to games in the US when there are more fans that are obviously following the teams that are playing, London still has its own special experience, which, it's having all those fans in the country together doing that.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's a great experience, and there are aspects to it that I definitely miss, even being over here. So, it's just a positive comment, even if it sounds like I'm saying that people should stop complaining, because I know they do. I always used to as well. Sky TV, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Can't there be more games? Can't they hold events closer to me and so on? It's really, like I say, I think because they already have the fan base here and the NFL are making a big effort in the UK, there's a lot over there to be enjoyed. So, I just thought it'd be a positive call to let people know that.
That is brilliant. I like that. It's a good insight, something that I basically... I don't know why I've not put a sort of call out for that, really. But no, I appreciate that. Are you on Twitter then, Ashley?
I am, yeah. I think...
Do you want, I was going to say, you don't have to give it out if you don't want. If you...
Oh, no, I am on there. It's this is the only thing you're not going to like me for now. My Twitter handle is at PatriotsFan90.
Oh, dear. I can. No, you've raised some good points. I'll let you off the hook.
Now that's gone and ruined it, hasn't it?
No. Fire away. I'm used to the abuse and fairness. So that's.
I think the Jets are still yet to play the Vikings, unless I'm thinking.
Don't sugarcoat it. The Jets are an absolute pile of steaming garbage. I'm not ashamed to admit that. It's a rough
I'm going to
year.
say nothing.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. So that's at Patriot Fan 90. So right then, I have to ask you missed like the NFL from a UK standpoint. What else do you miss about the UK then, going over there? And what are the best things about being in Minnesota? Sort of like do both sides of the coin if you can.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. So some people may agree or disagree. Talking away from football here, I'd say the bad points, food.
Yeah.
Over here, the food, believe it or not, isn't as good. I think because a lot of the food is mass produced in this country, they seem to use more, without sounding really bad, I guess you could say chemicals or additives that you wouldn't usually get in Europe because they're not allowed to use it. So isn't quite up to scratch. I certainly miss some of the UK food. Cost of the healthcare is a big issue still over here. Even with people living here, no one likes how the healthcare works over here. You do people again, as I say, complain in the UK about the NHS. You would miss that over here in ways. And the third one, I would say, given three things. Work. People work here, it seems, a lot more. Not obviously everyone, it varies, but for example, a job I have here, I work a full 40-hour-a-week job here, and if I were to take time off in a year of my job, I would get 2 days paid vacation.
Wow.
Compared to, being able to take almost a month off of work. When I was working in the UK over the year, obviously that increases. Here, work. A lot more. There's a lot more of a work.
Tend to have long weekends, don't they? Like 4-day weekends rather than like your traditional 2 weeks off that you get over here.
Yeah, sometimes. But in general, people will admit it to me. They'll say, we do work ourselves to death over here, they say.
Yeah,
They're always work. But as you say, there's always positives and negatives. And going back to, you say the positives, I would say you definitely don't feel as cramped as you do. I used to live in Ashford when I was in the UK. So down in the south, and obviously when you live in places like that, there's houses everywhere, my wife would say when she visited. She couldn't believe how little space there was per person.
Yeah.
Especially when it came to parking. She was like, you have to pay for parking over here? She's in England. I was like, yeah, I'm afraid so. So as you can imagine, living in Minnesota, as long as you're out the cities, there's a lot of space, and the people are really friendly. A shout out to people, they say Minnesota nice. You might have heard that expression before. Well, we had over a foot of snow land on Monday.
Wow.
This past Monday, just gone. And our car was stuck on a driveway, and randomly this guy driving by in a truck decided to pull over. Never met him before, didn't know who he was. Got out the truck, said, I see you're in a bit of trouble, and grabbed a shovel out the back of the truck and was helping us.
Wow.
Clear the snow. And you do see, more people willing to do things like that. It is a very friendly culture out here, even though it's not perhaps as exciting as the cities are.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
It's
that sort of ruins my next question. I was going to ask you if you got one of them snowmobile things that you can just whiz round onto work.
We're trying to get one.
Oh,
we need one.
See, I'd be like, that'd be a joyous way to go work. I'd be out like an hour before work, just like doing random circles and going up and down hills. The child in me would just not be able to let that part go.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. No, there's it's definitely a novelty. It's a novelty for a while, but when it starts hitting, minus 18 in Celsius, which it has already here now, the novelty can wear off quite quickly sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine it does.
Yeah. But no, that's all really I called in for, because I'd be interested to hear as well, other people's thoughts on that. Other people that have been over, to the US, obviously, to visit. It seems great. But like you say, when I was living in England, you don't always think about how it is over here. You think it's probably, the best to be an NFL fan. In some areas it might be, but I'll be interested to see what other callers' opinions are on that as well. And when it comes to the things like the price of TV over there and so on, it was a bit of a wake-up call to me moving over here.
I can imagine it was a change of scenery and all that. Yeah. Do you get a chance to come back home a lot? Have you got any sort of plans for that, or did any more family go with you?
We haven't yet. Obviously, it's just me and my wife here. My family, well, my parents are planning to come over in April.
Yeah.
Or they have actually booked it. They're going to come over. That'll be the first time that they have ever even been here. They've never been here before, so they're waiting till it warms up a bit before they come over.
A wise move, then.
Yeah, and then we're going to, I think, go out to Vegas. They're going to take us out to Vegas when they come over because that's where my parents always wanted to go. So
Vegas is great fun. I spent 2 weeks there in June.
Yeah?
Yeah, Vegas is one of the greatest places I find as an adult ever. It's just an adult playground. Basically, any show that you find, I found in Vegas that some might look cheesy and bad and stuff, but they're all very, very entertaining, well produced, well put together, and you'll have an absolutely fantastic time.
Yeah, I've never been there, but they booked that, and it was my idea. We're going to rent a car or hire a car, I should say, and go and see the Grand Canyon, which I know is going to be about a 5-hour drive, I've been told.
Yeah, it's quite
really
a trek.
Well.
While you're on the way, go to the Hoover Dam as well. Go see that. That's spectacular. Yeah, I recommend that. Definitely.
We'll have to. No, thanks very much for the advice.
No problem. Right then, so we will get people tweeting at you at PatriotsFan90, see what their views are and the response to this. I think it's going to be interesting. It's raised some good issues there. I never knew that, so I really, really appreciate the call.
Yeah, and that just one quick thing as well before I go, because you've literally just reminded me when you talk about TV. I've even tried to see if there was any way I could actually watch a Sky Sports presentation over here, because I'll tell you one thing that gets annoying. The commercials. I miss the fact that you get studio breaks out there rather than commercials every 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're Peyton Manning selling you pizza.
Yeah, and insurance now.
Yeah,
insurance now as well.
Papa John's Pizza. You always find that at Geico. I used to find on the TV.
Nationwide insurance.
Yes, at State
There's
Farm.
There's been plenty of jokes made about that one now.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
I appreciate you letting me come on and see what we get back.
Anytime, Ashley, you ever want to come on again, give me a ring, tweet at me, and more than welcome to come on the show. I really, really appreciate the call. Fantastic stuff.
No worries. Thanks very much, Mark. Take care.
Take care and enjoy the snow if the novelty's not already worn off too much.
Thanks very much. I'll try.
Brilliant. Appreciate that. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Awesome. That was an awesome call. That is Ashley Allen. He lives in Minnesota, having lived in the UK, taken the plunge and gone over there. Wow, that's awesome. Very interesting points there. Twitter is actually blowing up here. So I'm going to scroll down and just catch in on Twitter. Actually, there's a few people voting, so I will tally those as I go. So here we go. We're getting a few votes in. Right, here we go. Yeah, Marty Toontime says, great call from Ashley. Interesting to hear that the slants on all things NFL. Brilliant call from the guy now living in Minnesota. So that's Stephen Fuller again. So yeah, go give Ashley a follow here at PatriotsFan90. Please connect with him. Remind him of the home comforts he might be missing there. So we've got quite a lot of tweets and that's coming through. We've got, about 7-8 minutes left now on the voting wise for fan versus fan. Patriots Fan 90. I don't even know if I'm following you, which is quite weird. I am actually following you, Ashley, so that's good. That saves me some embarrassment. So that is great stuff. So yeah, we've got the votes coming in thick and fast. I had a few questions actually, and I've got a lot of questions from Ashley on that. So Patriots Fan 90, send your best well wishes over there. So that was awesome stuff. Right then, Scott asks me, going back to Wembley last week, in fairness, how was the fan versus the press experience at Wembley? Did you have to remortgage the house to get a half-time hot dog? Actually spoke to Marty Toontime about this in the week. For me, the experiences were both equally fantastic but equally flawed. Basically, the press area and that, for me, no queue for the bathroom. That was always nice. Free food, that was good. The programme was food, the view, the sort of behind the scenes, sort of being close to the players sort of experience that just totally overwhelmed me. Money can't sort of buy. That was amazing. Absolutely loved it. Be eternally grateful to Huddle Magazine for that. That was a different sort of thing, but I suppose the knock on that maybe was acting professional, which for me at times, the fan in me wants to jump up and down and maybe hurl some, let's say, banter rather than abuse. That sort of element, sort of keeping restrained and professional whilst enjoying the game, I found that at times, maybe because, I'll be honest, being in sort of the press sort of stuff, that was the first time I'd ever done that and I'd never experienced, so maybe that was out of my comfort zone. So that'd be the maybe knock. Maybe just being uncomfortable and looking round and just being unsure of the sort of protocol and stuff within that. So yeah, that was good. And then the fan thing, again, the knock would probably be, like you say, queuing, price of food and stuff like that. The positives, though, the atmosphere, listening to people talk around you and sharing the sort of back and forth. I took the wife and she'd been watching it with me on the TV, but the adverts seemed to annoy her. But at the game, there's the party people coming out, and the wife was obsessed with the cheerleaders, which I thought was bizarre. It's not a statement I could say, look at her. So yeah, the whole sort of entertainment, she was annoyed that she'd not come the first game with me, because she was like, I never knew it was like this. I just see adverts, they keep you entertained. It's a complete 3.5 hour show. So she enjoyed that aspect, and I sort of got a kick out of seeing her just enjoy it and embrace it. So she really enjoyed that. And like I say, it was being part of the crowd in the atmosphere. That was a pot. They're both equally as good and equally flawed. I'd take any. If you said pick one, I'd be hard-pressed. I think I mentioned it to Marty as well. If you got the opportunity for the press thing for the Jets, what would you want to do? Yes, I'd love to be up close and personal with the Jets, but god damn it, I'd love to boo some Dolphins fans. The fan in me. And cheer some touchdowns and stuff. So yeah, that'd be tough. That's going to be a tough call when that happens, but yeah. I appreciate the question there, Scott. So what have we got? 4 minutes left of voting now at Zone Coverage FS. Hashtag Andy, hashtag Alex. So those have been coming in thick and fast. A lot of interaction this week. I really, really appreciate that, guys, and especially on the chat room on Spreaker, which I've been absolutely, rubbish on. Noel's been on the chat room mentioning about Sky and stuff. Any game he wants to watch in the USA, that's for about £300 for the whole season. So that's at Blue Lion Man. I've spoke to Noel quite a lot, in fairness. I've not spoken to Noel for a few weeks, but Noel does have this system, this loophole, let's say, to enable you to watch any games. It's not stuff that I can really say on air, in fairness, but if you want to contact at Blue Lion Man, feel free to do so, and I'm sure that Noel will guide you in the best way he can there. Where was I? I was on my not so great 8 rankings once. Well, I'd slagged off the Jets. The Bengals, yeah, they were the bottom of the AFC North. We're on to the AFC South. Oh, excuse me. Right then, AFC South, more movement. Last time out it was the Titans due to the quarterback carousel that was going on there, but a less than inspiring performance at Wembley last Sunday sees the Jaguars slip back to the bottom there. So I'm afraid, Jags, sorry, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles at times. Right then, on to the AFC West. Right then, I'm getting out on a limb here. Yeah, the Raiders. Now, the Raiders remain glued to the bottom here. But like I did with the Bengals, I put them on notice after a couple of poor performances. The Chargers, you're on notice. You escaped because of my little man crush for Rivers MVP start type to the beginning of the season, in fairness. So Chargers, you're on notice. But for now, Raiders, it's just the way it is. Right then, we have 2 minutes left of voting. Zone Coverage FS on to the NFC East. Well, what can you say about the Giants that won't earn me an explicit rating on iTunes? There's nothing worse than watching just that uninspiring tackling from last week. Again, I've ranted about this earlier. I've actually ranted me exact notes back to myself, which is quite quite eerie, in fairness. I basically put that the giant bunch of pansies. See what I did there? Giant bunch of pansies. Anyway, and Eli Manning, doesn't Eli Manning's face on the sideline look like that painting has stole his favourite Thundercat action figure from back in the day? Right, Eli, you're the quarterback, the supposed leader of the team. Get in these papers, get in these press conferences, start calling out your players. I want to see some fighting spirit. And they've lost the last 4 games. Let's see you take some leadership. I don't think I've ever seen Eli do that. I might be wrong, I may have missed it. But Eli Manning and the Giants, step up, buck your ideas up. I don't need any encouragement to play this regarding the Giants, but hey-ho. Right then, just before I go on to the AFC North, the Spreaker chat room is going berserk. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Scott and Noel, they've been chatting as well. He says, they're on about shirts and stuff like that. So there might be some good banter in the chat rooms, especially. He says, I hate the Steelers. Your Jets winning blew up a 16, 17 and 19 accumulator bets I had last week that would have won me around £500. Instead, I lost 50. I shouldn't laugh, and I can't apologise for the Jets winning, Noel. Fantastic. And Scott says Noel as the man got some cheap shirts as well. So Noel does have a sort of a link to a cheap shirt, good quality from what I understand as well. So at Blue Lion Man there. And that's quite funny, Noel. I gutted that you lost the money, but it's still funny. Anyway, on to the NFC North. Voting is done. 5:15. I'm done. We're done. I will just, we are done. Done. Right, where are we? NFC North. What we'll do, the Bears. Basically, I'll just run through these quick and then I'm going to ring the winners. I've totaled it up. No more votes will count from this moment onward. Right then, the Giants, they were bottom of the NFC East. The NFC North is the Chicago Bears. They're a mess. 1 win in the last 6 games, and that was against the Falcons. They gave up 106 points in the last 2 games. They've got some of the best offensive talent in the NFL. What gives? The Chicago Bears? Rubbish. Right then, on to the NFC South. I give up with this division. Does anyone want win it? The media have had Drew Brees and Matt Ryan of the darlings of this division. Newsflash. If this was Gino or Andy Dalton, you'd be all over him saying how inept they are and wait. What you do? You save that for Supercam. He gets absolutely ridiculed for a few games. Drew Brees has been absolutely awful, in fairness, for the first couple of games. Matt Ryan's not exactly set the league on fire again this year. Yeah, you can argue there's injuries and stuff along the lines, but Cam Newton, he gets criticised, and yet his line's bad, so you got to give as good as you gave now. You've got to be an equal playing field is what I'm trying to say. So right then, all this, and this is all after you hailed the signing of Josh McCown as the second coming of Joe Montana in the South. What is going on? No one wants to win it. Everyone sucks. Basically, the NFC South, you're all equally as inept as everyone. The whole NFC South, I'm going to annoy everyone, but every single one of you. It's just not good enough. Someone step up. Right then. Controversy last time we did the NFC West, because we had the Seahawks here. Well, the Seahawks have improved, but the Rams, what is going on here? They're now doing the quarterback carousel that I mentioned at the top of the show. It's crazy, but you know what's going on here? Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer. Yes, the moron that runs the most completely yet dull, uninspiring and uncreative offense is going. Suffered that with the Jets. Rams fans can definitely back me on this. Schottenheimer is the worst offensive coordinator in the entire league for me. Awful. I feel for Rams fans, but you've heard of quarterback whisperers. Brian Schottenheimer is the quarterback killer in my eyes. That is your not so great 8. So, and actually, this is aimed at Schottenheimer, not the Rams. Right then. Right. Rant over. Frustration done and dusted. Let's get to our winner of the Fan versus Fan segment. Boom. Right then. Who won? Right. Stand by your phones, Andy and Alex. So I am ringing someone right now. Fingers crossed they answer. Fingers crossed. So, appreciate the votes today, folks. It was absolutely rammed. Twitter has sort of taken over. So that's been good stuff. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Sir, congratulations. You are the winner of the Fan versus Fan today.
Brilliant.
Like I said,
commiserations to Alex.
Do not expect a whole host of gifts through the post, because unfortunately I don't have any to give out, apart from just great personal pride. Enjoy your day, and I will give you the floor to give out any shout outs at anything you want to promote and stuff like that. Feel free.
Nothing really. Nothing I can think of. But for anyone who voted for the Panthers who supports them, thanks very much.
Yeah,
we are going to win.
Yeah. Oh, all right now. I'll put you on the spot. Could you a score?
28-21 Panthers. I reckon it's a one touchdown game.
28-21.
If I'm being realistic.
Nice. I like that. Be an entertaining game.
It should be. We'll see. I reckon Greg Olsen and Benjamin both going to get touchdowns.
Yeah, because I was just ranting about the South. No one wants to win the South, do they?
No one wants what, sorry?
No one wants to win that division.
I don't know if that's true. But
you know what?
None of them are playing like they deserve to win, to be fair. All 4 teams in that division are playing exceptionally bad this season.
That's a fair statement. That was better put. Yeah, you're doing me out of a job.
I don't know about that.
Oh, brilliant.
But, we will see.
Right, all the best for today, Andy, and I appreciate you coming on at the last minute, sir. You dug me out of a big hole. I will be forever in your debt for that, so much appreciated.
It's not a problem at all. Thanks for giving me the chance to have a rant about the Panthers.
Anytime, sir, and anytime you want to come on, talk about anything you like, just feel free, hit me up, and we'll get you back on and talk some more Panthers football or whatever the heart desires.
Nice one, mate. Have a good night.
Will do. Cheers, Andy, and congrats, mate.
Cheers.
All the best. Enjoy your evening.
And you. Ta-ra.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye.
And that was Andy there, the winner of this week's Fan versus Fan. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. Twitter has gone absolutely berserk. I'm loving this. Twitter's gone crazy. The Spreaker app's gone crazy. The interaction's been through the roof. Loving it. What a day. So right then, we got through the not so great 8. I think it's about time we maybe check in. Let's go Twitter first, and then we'll give Tom a bell from Huddle Magazine, see what sort of news he's got going late on. Just had a new follower there. The Neutral Zone follows me. Appreciate that. Stephen Fuller is now talking to the Patriots fan. We're lucky, besides the time difference, that watching the game is so as expensive as the States. Again, some more votes than that coming in. With the this is brilliant. Will Davey says, with the NFC South as it is, I'm loving the not so great 11. I like that one. Enjoying, Mark. Which game are you looking forward to today with the Jets on bye week? That's from Cameron at C4MRIN. Ashley, a Patriots fan 90, he says, thanks for the feedback there, so keep that coming. The game, what game am I looking forward to today? There's some absolute belters today, in fairness. I best run through these before I get to Tom on Huddle Magazine. So the games today, we do have teams on a bye. Cowboys, Jets, Jags and Ravens on a bye. The Dolphins beat the Bills 22-9 on Thursday night. We have the Vikings at the Bears. That, for me, is an interesting game. We also have the Texans at Browns. Again, another interesting game. Seahawks at Chiefs. I'll probably end up watching that, in fairness. That is actually your game on Sky today. We have the Falcons, Panthers. That's another good game. You think, God, these are good games today. Bengals at the Saints. Another decent game. Bucks at Redskins. Probably one of the weaker games on the schedule, in fairness. Mind you, they're two teams struggling, so much needed win. Probably the worst games. The Broncos at the Rams, in fairness. 49ers at Giants. Raiders, Chargers. Chargers are in a bit of a free fall because the Raiders pull that one out there. Yeah, the Eagles, Green Bay. That, again, another belting game. That's your late game on Sky, 9:15 game. This, for me, is probably game of the day. The Lions at the Cardinals. That, for me, is a belting game. And then your late game. Wow, we are spoiled for choice today. I'm going to have to set up about 15 TVs. We have the Patriots at Colts. That is your Channel 4 game, 1:30 kickoff. And then Monday, we round it off with the best game of the weekend. Steelers-Titans. That's probably the worst game. I cannot pick out one good game. I mean, one bad game in this week's schedule. There's about 6 games that I would just love to watch the entirety of them all, in fairness. So, really, really strong schedule this week. Right then, your Steelers-Titans game, by the way, is on Monday, Eurosport, 1:30 a.m., so Tuesday morning, Monday morning, however way you look at that. Tom from Huddle Magazine, we will try and call you, sir, to see how you are. Get any last-minute news. I did say I got to text him, so it's best that I do that. So, Tom, bear with me. And whilst I am furiously texting Tom, remember, folks, keep those tweets coming in. Zone Coverage FS, iTunes, Stitcher, subscribe, ratings, rankings, all that sort of stuff. It helps bump the show up that a little bit more. What else am I looking for now? Can't text and talk. Oh dear, meltdown. Right, what else can you do? You can do lots of things, actually. I think I'm blank. What can you do? Yeah, tune in, Spreaker and all that sort of stuff. The website, zonecoveragefootballshow.com. You find all the links and stuff like that. And Fan versus Fan, if you want to register Fan versus Fan, just tweet me, Zone Coverage FS, with your affiliation, and we will get that up, and I will add you to my list for next week and going forward. I did put a couple of people on standby. And Andy actually was on standby for the Panthers. So, this should be Tom now. Hello.
Hi, Mark. It's Tom.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you? How's things going?
Yeah, very good. Today's show has been fantastic. Twitter's gone off the hook. Even the app on Spreaker, people are chatting in the chat room there. It's bedlam.
Excellent. Good to hear. I've not been able to listen in myself, as I told you earlier, I'm out travelling, but I've been keeping an eye on 3 of the key games today. I've got some news for you on where those stand.
Yeah, cool.
So, Seattle, obviously, everybody wanting to know what the score with Marshawn Lynch is. Marshawn Lynch listed as questionable at the start of the day. All his teammates have expected him to play throughout the game, and we obviously know now, I'm sure you've heard that he is active, yes?
Yeah. I think someone did tweet in earlier about that actually as well.
I mean, in terms of how the weather will impact him there, it's freezing conditions down in Kansas City, so they say that the weather may have an impact on him and the injury that he's had, as they expect the field may freeze over during the game. So he's one to watch in terms of his longevity of being able to play and obviously coming off that injury. On the Chiefs side of the ball, we've been speaking to Tom Mahaley, and he said the biggest difference for the Chiefs in their upturn, so as the season's gone on, is that players have started to show more commitment by coming in on Mondays after win.
Oh no, and we've lost a call there from Tom. He did say he was travelling on the train today, so we've had a few issues with connections with various people travelling as well. I know that Alex, I never got a chance to actually say goodbye to Alex earlier on, so Alex was the Falcons fan today on the show, so he put forward a good argument, but unfortunately he didn't win on that. So Alex, if you are listening back, again, I do really appreciate you coming on and wanting to be involved in the show, sir. Right then, here we go. Should be Tom back.
Hello.
Yeah, hiya, mate.
How far did you hear me get?
I can't remember what you said now last minute. I was just panicking because it dropped off and then the chat room popped up. I was like, oh dear.
Okay, I'll just refresh. Was it Tom? Did you hear what I said about Tom Mahaley?
Yes, we got that, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Just that the players have been coming in on Mondays after wins and Tuesdays on their off days. That's part of the commitment that's driven the Chiefs forward and how they've been able to turn their season around. Looking at Denver at St. Louis, DeMarcus Ware's been talking about their defense and particularly on Sean Hill.
Yeah.
They've not seen much of Sean Hill, obviously, this season, so they've been through past season tapes to try and get reads on him and the way he's going to throw today. And defensively, Ware says that last week was their most complete game of the season. You still there?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And looking over at New York and San Francisco, I don't know if you've heard Aldon Smith will play. All his teammates are really happy to see his return, and they believe that they can really run the ball against this New York Giants defense.
Oh, yeah, with
Will
ease.
Will Hoyt's been speaking and said that the team know that they have to win every game now, and that they're all too aware of their position behind Seattle and Arizona in the division, so they're really pumped up for this game. Rashad Jennings will turn for the New York Giants, and Tom Coughlin's been speaking about him, saying that if it takes 50 carries from him today to win the game, then Tom Coughlin will take that. So I expect a lot of work for Rashard Jennings today. If you've got him in your fantasy team, he could be stacking up some serious yardage.
Yeah.
So there we have it. Those are the 3 games I concentrated on to bring you some news, some of the important games around the Week 11 fixture lists, and that's my news.
Awesome. I appreciate that, Tom. For those new listeners, again, huddlemagazine.com is the place to go to subscribe to the magazine, get it downloaded, yeah?
Yeah, that's the one, mate. And on Sundays throughout the day, we do pop on Twitter, so you'll hear bits and bots of news, but obviously we save up the news for this programme, so night goes on, there'll be more news coming out on our Twitter, which is at Huddle Magazine. I'll probably be anyone who wants to just chat about games as well, just hit me up, and I'm quite happy to have a little talk about anything.
Cool. What game are you watching today with your Jags being on a bye then? Anything jumping out at you?
I'm not going to be watching anything on the early schedule because I'm on the train at the moment. I'm struggling for signal.
Oh, no.
I think it's probably going to be one of the later games that I'm going to have to watch. But, I mean, I try and avoid what's on Sky, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So I try and go.
Oh, no. He's gone. Tom's gone again there. Not to worry, sir. We are towards the end of the show. Anyway, it's gone. 90 minutes gone. That has flown by today. We didn't have time to run through the playoff picture, but that saves me a little bit of work for next week, so I can just roll that over perfectly. I have just said to Noel and Scott in the chat room on Spreaker there, appreciate the banter in there. It's the first time we've had that up and running, so that's been fantastic. So appreciate that, guys. Everyone that's tweeted in today, there's been an absolute abundance of tweets coming into the show. Loving that. It's been hectic my end. If I've sounded a bit flustered, well, it's been a normal show, so that can only be a good thing. A couple of mentions. I mentioned him quite a lot already. Scott Larkin, Brett Lovedale, Adam Nichols, Tim and Tom NFL, Eurojets, had a follow from them, Neil Dutton, Cameron, Matt Phillips, 78 as well, Chris Wilde. He actually asked if the Bills should go back to EJ Manuel. I don't think I got round to that, but we'll touch on that next week. Also, fantastic call from Ashley Allen at Patriots Fan 90, who's moved over to Minnesota, and shed some interesting insights on what life's like over there as an NFL fan actually in the USA. So that was fantastic stuff. I really appreciate that, Ashley, and I hope to check in with you going forward. And also to Alex Sawson, the Falcons fan today, for taking part in today's Fan versus Fan. That's at Fusion Style. Oh, we do have Tom back here. Is that Tom again?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Apologies about that. My signal cut out.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd call back and say thanks for having me on again, and I'll speak to you next week. And thanks to all the guys who have listened to me rumbling on again this week. And as I say, go over to Twitter to talk to me. Any latest news that you want, just give me a shout and I'll try and find out, and I'll wrap it up there, mate.
Okie doke then, Tom. I appreciate you jumping on, mate, and safe journey.
Yep, thanks very much, Mark. And I'll probably catch you later on. I'll drop you a text or something.
Yeah, will do.
All right, cool.
All right,
Bye-bye.
buddy. Take care. Speak to you soon.
Cheerio.
Bye. So, yeah, that was Tom again there. We'll wrap that up in a moment. Tom, Huddle Magazine, at Huddle Magazine on Twitter, then huddlemagazine.com on the web. Get their magazine downloaded. And I think you can still order it on print as well, so get a copy in your hand as well. I was saying Alex Orson, Falcons fan, at Fusion Style, for coming on the Fan versus Fan today. Andy Campbell, at @Campbell UK. Andy Campbell won today, the Panthers fan that come on. Really appreciate you guys coming on there. I think that's about it. Wraps us up. Another week back to the usual schedule. We will be back next Sunday, 4 o'clock. If you see any sort of tweets regarding listen back to the show, spread the word. Again, massive thank you to everyone that's tweeted in, tuned in, interacted. It's been fantastic. Really enjoyed myself today. Long may this continue. Like I say, we've got a lot of stuff going on. Irons in the fire already for that off-season sort of schedule. So we will not be vanishing come January. So you don't have to worry about that. We will try and keep you updated as we go throughout. So that is it. Mark T. Stone here, live from T's Towers. And you probably heard a random fireworks show go off about halfway through. It was pretty. Shame I couldn't take a picture, but hey-ho. Right then, I'm going to go because I'm absolutely starving. Need a drink. And, to use the bathroom facilities. Well, that was maybe a little bit too much information. So until next week, remember, hustle, hit, and never quit.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Unable to listen live? We've got that covered. Simply search the Zone Coverage Football Show in either iTunes or Stitcher Radio. And don't forget to subscribe. All our shows and details on how to call into the show can be found on the website www.zonecoveragefootballshow.com.